everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage.
The Zone of Control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the Suzerain and the Commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
It's been like this for how long exactly?
43 years.
Oh.
Hard to fathom, I know.
I thought she said that Ravachol... I thought that was an 8, that they took down something, and then Ravachol was defeated 2 years later, so that would be 10, right? But what have you been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. 08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash, an Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
Your courtesies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
I'm gonna keep putting points into Inland Empire, I think, because I want to be really, really good at it. Like, I want to be unbelievably good at Inland Empire, I think. Oh, I should have maybe unlocked another one of these, but hey, we'll look at that later.
From the looks of it, the 50s haven't been much better for the Zone of Control. You can see it in her eyes. Days slipping away.
You don't seem to be thrilled.
I've no right to be dissatisfied. This shirt is Barbara Muscova, this raincoat is impervious to rain and is guaranteed for 100 years. My daughters will wear it. No, it's just...
The crumbling tenements, paint flecking from the stone.
We could have had so much more. Every one of us. If only we'd played it right.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
No, her first.
I would have killed more, 400 million if that's what it took. I asked you, who are you in all this?
And I asked you, philosopher detective of the citizens' militia.
I would have sought medical solutions. Sounds like Sarath that drove those people mad. I would have made up with the mineral rights.
You and everyone else. But that's got nothing to do with preventing the revolution. Oh, well. What was, I guess. Good question.
No, her first.
So a quarter of humanity simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion? A complex folding protein, unlife, with a technology 50 years ago.
Liquidate the rabid, prion-infested dogs who want to kill everyone with cleansing artillery fire. With some hygiene, modest social care, and perhaps a little research program.
Good hygiene. Really. A very moderate solution to an extreme problem. It's those sort of half measures that doomed the authorities in Grad. When they failed to step up, Marzov and his party stepped in. In this particular case, maybe a more robust state response might have been appropriate.
Opinions expressed here do not reflect the official position of the RCM.
And what is your official position, Lieutenant?
There is curiosity there that goes unnoticed. Kim takes a step back, absent-mindedly.
My position, ma'am? My parents got ripped to shreds in the revolution. I would have gone the same way. I was saved by being 2 years old. That's my position. The abattoir.
Understandable. They are what they are, anyway. Enough sentimentality.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
What is this? Spread your hands. Okay, let's try this one. Think of something close to you.
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs,
Damn,
Junior
just barely
Officer
succeeded.
Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again.
Am I Tequila Sunset?
We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
The Ravishol Citizen Militia?
Preciso mundo.
Good, and what is the Ravishol Citizens Militia?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
Yes, we are the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Are we?
We are.
You said de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
All 3 are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm basically going to avoid this subject and ask the next question in the inquiry. So I'm basically a lackey of... So I'm a thrall to foreign interests?
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed, a true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it. Anyway, sorry to intrude. Please continue.
Carry on.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if the law officials of our nation need help with the basic terms of reality, well, then I'm here to help.
I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
Dios mío, draw across a liberal. Cool, I liberate pretty hard myself.
Yes. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. I pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. My kind surrendered the nation to financial colonists. I can see you thought our kind were all extinct. After all, no sane person identifies as this anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride. Forgive her,
Forgive her?
but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
I forgive you, but only because you're charming. I forgive you.
I do hope so. I do hope we're able to remain collegial despite it all. Tell me, when you look in the mirror, do you not see a monster staring back at you? When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinaise a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinaise, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake, then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
She's an anarchist now.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You're a patriot.
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
What is this? Spread your hands.
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
What, really?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
What is Rue de Saint-Ghislaine, 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Sydney the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the Skull. Dude, I love this so much. Goddamn Disco Man is my spirit animal, just like Arthur was.
The girl in the old
What
lady
is-
rags.
What is that? Yeah.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture.
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Okay, now explain the same thing but to a child.
Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. All right, what next?
Alright, let's try to conceptualize. We fail on what? Probably 2? Oh wait, we need an 8 or a higher. Oh, but we have a 4, so it's a 16. We fail on 3 or lower.
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world is this?
What world?
The
The
fading.
only one, I
Oh.
suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Have we heard about Elysium in our dream? The world needs a term of endearment. Wait, is this the one with the... Oh, and we know that wait means that we, like, get more chances, right? Wait, is this the one with the evil apes?
Not in this case, no. That sounds more like something the Mesk petrofascists might say.
The Confederate Republic of Mesk, the world's largest state by territory, has fallen into an especially nihilistic strain of nationalism lately.
It isn't enough to call us animals. Even animals aren't animals.
What are animals, then?
They're like you and I suppose. Living organisms don't identify with abstractions. Elysium is for particular beings.
Elysium, this world doesn't not deserve a term of endearment.
There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petrofascists.
I don't feel like I got the whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit.
How come?
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
How about it's a ball? Inside sideways, what shape is this world then?
We used to think it was a sphere, but that is beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s.
ORG, Occident Revachol Grad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark grey corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
So it might be in some weird afterlife situation, I guess, but also you mentioned pale again. The pale, and what do you mean, corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness. I am sorry, Detective. Philosophically speaking, it must sound quite terrifying. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound.
A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's gonna bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
You said pale. What is pale?
The Pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. Remember, we have a cadaver to attend to.
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
I don't want to. I want to know what the pale is.
I don't think your colleague would appreciate that. He has already been so patient with this whole exercise. Let's continue with something else, all right? You can ask about anything else in the world. Anything.
Maybe I have to come back here at night.
But she wants to tell you.
Ask for Kim to step away while you discuss the pale. Oh.
Good idea. Just ask him. He won't make a scene.
Kim, can I talk to the man alone for a second?
Fine.
See? What can he do? You're a grown man.
Now, what is the pale?
Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant.
Yes, what is the pale?
Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass.
Wait, and what is an isola?
Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7.
Continents?
Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde.
And the Insulinde is...
An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Muindi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear.
Okay, what is the pale like?
Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness.
If we're surrounded by pale, how do we get from Isla to Isla?
Oh, it is so difficult for us. It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged.
How do they send armies over here to deal with this Isola then? The pale can damage the mind?
Extensively.
How?
Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past.
What does this over-radiation feel like?
It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year.
Damn.
It's more for her. Way more.
You're not a civilian passenger?
No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entropanetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually.
Perhaps that explains her strange pining after the revolution. some degraded early memories.
Are you overradiated?
Up to my gills, officer.
Is it here? Look around.
No, detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
The north and even more to the southeast. Oh, okay, so I gotcha.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
6,000 kilometers from the end of the world?
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer.
And point north there?
An uproar of matter, darling. Rising into the pale. Rolling. Evaporating even. The great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
I like disco. What are its Disco Elysium? What are its physical qualities?
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible.
What is anthroponetic?
Anthroponetics is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain.
Did they cross it, the Western Plain?
There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years.
What has anthroponetics changed then?
Nothing. We remain powerless before the pale. The only real advance in pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later.
Aerostatic craft?
Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near pale to far pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely.
If you do not?
Then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
How much pale is there compared to the world?
The pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping.
Slipping how? To our detriment, or...?
What do you think, detective?
It's growing, there's more and more of the pale.
Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists.
It's not extreme at all, it's going to happen.
Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
Off we go into the wild pale yonder.
One and all. They say pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me,
Snap
Detective.
back to reality.
This isn't really an inquiry, is it? You can't remember a single thing. This is the first time you're hearing about any of this.
You're right, this is all new to me.
Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
Its advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism. I'm worried I have to say it does sound very liberal to me. You're right, it's disco. Her eyes tense, crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
Yeah, I'm in serious trouble here. I'll handle it, it's under control.
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Good. You have not passed out from it. Perhaps I worried for nothing. Are we still on the reality lowdown, or should we do actual...
Oh man,
police
was there
work?
a chance I would pass out from that? That would be cool. That was fucking insane, Kim.
Yes, well, the rest of us have dealt with it for thousands of years, so...
You will have to deal with it, too, the lieutenant thinks. This is why I didn't want you to know.
Right, let's get to work, Lieutenant.
Good luck, detectives.
What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate,
Oh,
political
is this
opinions somewhere in Martinique.
Centris? This is because I keep saying none of the above to political stuff, isn't it?
It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's a temporary surge of serotonin, but something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the Kingdom of Conscience.
First, where is this Kingdom of Conscience?
It is not a place. It is a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times.
How do you bring about those circumstances?
Incrementally. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place. Too quickly. That's the genius of Dolores Day. She recognized that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real, lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment.
Okay, but what's the Kingdom of Conscience actually like?
The kingdom is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe.
Dude, it's been so many hours already, we've done nothing. It's been like 5 hours.
Partly because humanity will need to discard many of the categories
Also in real
that
life.
define and limit it today. The Kingdom of Conscience is post-capitalist, post-national. It's also post-industrial, post-ideological, and even post-sexual.
Sounds incredible. Alonzi, let's go there right now.
Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. Did you miss the part about compromising and taking things slow?
Alright, then let's get there eventually.
That's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Revachol. When that real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we are all going to be so much happier.
Heartache is powerful, but democracy is subtle. Incrementally, you begin to notice a change in the weather. When it snows, the flakes are softer when they stick to your very forehead. When it rains, the rain is warmer. Democracy is coming to the administrative region. the ideas of Dolores humanism are reinstating themselves? How can they not? These are the ideals of the Coalition and the Moralist International. Those guys are signal blue, and they're not only good, they are also powerful. What will it be like once their nuanced plans have been realized? -2 to half-light. I'm tempted to go the centrist route. It feels very appropriate to the character. I feel like maybe choosing none of them is even more appropriate. Boring, but still interesting. I like Dolores Day. She's like an interesting figure. That's a temporary debuff, final perk. Yeah, I know that, I know that. Every path you can take has good content, yeah.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Do you know something about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So, do you know something about tattoos? Fine, let's return to it later.
Better not tie the fourth day to the back day on this. I hope there is something...
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo tribes remain. She enjoys talking about the company. It would not hurt to inquire more.
Who are the other Indo tribes? You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
How much money does the Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
What exactly is a billion?
It's a number, officer. A big one.
What is it made of?
It's made of 1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands.
Wow.
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
It probably helped to start with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed, or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
What does such a huge system want with a place like this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners? Who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all cargo in the world, that's quite the endeavor.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
Wild Pines, Feld, Cupres, Tricentennial, Villiers, La Salle, names of Ravachol and Indo-tribes spring to your head, set loose at the mention of Wild Pines. Romanopolis, octopuses and swordfish, most of them gone now. YBP, Expander, Saint Baptiste, Brightest Star, Lum, Resplendent East, Insulindic, Welter, and Eclacet. But is one missing? Wait, no, there were only 14. Then why do you feel like there was a 15th Indo-tribe? Ooh. I don't know if I care enough about this to do it, but sounds interesting.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
What can you tell me about the strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What if I want to hear about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Elements. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
An octopus, I will slay it. I wouldn't want to disturb an octopus, better leave it be.
I am glad you see it that way. To repeal the act would mean repealing the coalition government, the one that leases you the right to police West Revachol. But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What's your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
You mean Jean-Luc, my race mentor? He's a great teacher, a man of virtue. How are the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Cool.
Yes. Extremely. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Every worker, a member of the board.
I don't know what to think about that.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
That makes sense.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
That's pretty funny, I have to admit.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution.
What are you going to do?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assumed that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again.
I mean, it sounds pretty reasonable that anytime they want to do anything, they just get a signature from 2,200 people. Well, that sounds pretty reasonable.
And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
Ah,
This checks out.
the scabs at the gate. Did you put them there?
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the Union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Tell me about this Union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Is he that bad?
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Wait, there's two of him?
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
See, unions are bad, everyone. That's the moral of the story. Communism bad, unions bad.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself outside the Brothers, Claire?
The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that.
Edgar says, I put it into my memory. Hopefully I will remember.
Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Debardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is...
A giant leech sucking the life out of Ravachol? Basically a socialist mob.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
One more thing, you said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
So eerie.
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I
What
help?
can you tell me about the lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets.
Nice.
For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have
I don't have
introduced
that.
ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Ern?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Remember I told you I literally cannot remember even the most basic facts about reality?
How can I forget?
Where is your badge? I don't think I have any information on my badge. Find booze and drink it. It might be my jacket, but I haven't found my jacket. Well, I haven't jumped onto my jacket yet. One of those facts is where my badge is, and other is my name.
I was hoping your condition was rhetorical, Detective. A questioning technique.
It's not. Perhaps it is, but it's also true that I don't remember where my badge is.
I have sympathy for your highly unusual condition, sir, and I believe you. But as it stands, I cannot share any confidential information until I've seen both your badges.
I understand the dictates of protocol, ma'am, but is there no way around it?
I'm afraid not, Lieutenant. These are my employer's orders.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
What kind of arrangements would it be?
I mean, favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort.
Huh? Yeah. Alright. How do I negotiate my way out of this?
Easy. Just offer her a favor. Like I said, nice and dirty.
Sure, there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement's credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Bro.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us for a moment, madame.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Really? I thought it was going so well.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
I was discombobulating her a bit at the start, but...
He doesn't let it show. But there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
You could just, find my badge.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters. You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
What do you propose, that we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Let's get back to her then. Okay, can I actually just find the badge by just moving around the world then? Is that the implication? It's just lying around somewhere in the streets, maybe? Do we just like, where's Waldo stuff? I do I think. What will that? Maybe it's in the... Maybe it's in the trash can up here. What if I just kick this trash can? I'll probably just lose a health though, actually.
Yes?
I don't know, I want to kick this trash can.
The dented yellow mailbox
Fuck
greets
you,
you
mail
with its
delivery
graffiti.
box.
There is a hollow, saddened ring as you kick the Levantourier mail collection box. It sounds betrayed. In disbelief even, your toe has suffered damage.
Cool. You really showed that mail collection box.
How do I
The
reload?
lieutenant
What's the reload key? F9. Jesus Christ. That's the worst choice I've ever made in my life. I feel so bad for that trash can. For the mailbox. What if my badge is in one of the books in the bookstore? And I will walk 5,000 miles, and I will walk 5,000 more. I haven't been able to speak to any people about, like, finding my badge. I guess my badge could be, in this guy's shoes. I did have the option to take his shoes off. It might just also be in my jacket, though. The real badge was the friends we made along the way. I know the trash is a little bit difficult to find, so I'm just thinking like maybe the badge is a little bit like difficult to click too. It is a bit weird. We've heard nothing about it though.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Still here. Stuck.
There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes and colors.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
The vendor takes a pair of sunglasses and sticks them under your nose. Try the shades on.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega
Officer?
secret spy. Very secret. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
The lieutenant gently removes the glass from your face, setting you free again. You're right, I'm too sensible for those.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think this through, officer.
Rubbish to the box.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses made of cheap Syrahese plastic.
This guy probably
The
has my
kind of
badge.
plastic that melts in the sun. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses probably direct more UV light into your pupils. A UV magnifier.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool, UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe and cool. While
No luck.
Whoops.
All you find is this lime-colored cellophane visor, produced by a bargain sportswear brand called Amphibian, apparently. There's a malformed green frog on its bent cap.
I forgot my mouse is tethered to my computer now, so I lifted it up, and then when it like got caught in the wire, I accidentally hit enter or hit the mouse button.
oh, that visor is perfect for you, officer. It'll definitely keep the sun out of your eyes while you're shooting criminals. Bang, bang! And all for a mere 6 real.
Kim, are firefight something we should be prepared for?
I hope not.
You don't like it? Sure, Square Joe. No problem. Let's get you some real shades.
Oh, that just gives you a +2 perception.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes. Good quality fabrics, best retro design. Save the economy with your style, officer.
Browse through the box.
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places.
Economical, but also trendy. Look firsthand. Buy secondhand. Keep the economy moving.
Find something worth salvaging from that pile of rags.
No good. All you can come up with are some treated wool pants. You can tell they're too tight around your thighs and too loose around the waist.
Touch them.
They itch like hell. Like an itch pit in hell.
All natural materials, see? Real wool, 100% skin friendly, and they're yours for only 2 real.
You see 2 lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them like conquerors surveying the land.
Skin friendly.
A pair of found, durable wear sneakers, Ultra series.
I immediately thought about wearing like long johns during the winter, like bad long johns that are just giga itchy.
I can see you with taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off those sneakers?
Inspect the sneakers, inspect the speed. I was like, does this say the same thing twice?
A pair of found Ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway, a jet black upper, and a silver-lined midsole.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers. Super air, super fine, super cool. Only 50 real.
Only? That's madness.
Damn. Inspect the speakers.
These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere prop by the indomitable found Ultras atop them.
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
I already looked at the sneakers. What about the speakers, though? Doesn't anyone want those speakers?
These, officer? These speakers are Samaran garbage. I'm ashamed to even use them for props. Don't waste your time on them.
Samaran trash. That sounds like they're from the Samaran People's Republic, produced under the dictatorship of the proletariat.
Can't I just buy the sad conquered Samarran speakers?
No way, officer! These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk.
Well, that's a nice little patch of sunlight back there to blind the stream. That's why I want them. I think I might be low-life sci-fi socialist junk myself.
No, officer. You're a high-class policeman who accepts nothing less than the best. Lucky for you, I've got the best on sale.
You don't know what I am. I don't even know it myself. I want the speakers.
Well, if you want them. But see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? I can't leave premium lifestyle sneakers on the ground. If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the sneakers too, I could maybe throw in the speakers for little extra. 50 cents?
You see a Samaran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking at him, his face breaks into a wide, welcoming grin.
Happy shopping, officer! Everything's cool here.
What's so cool?
Everything's cool. The goods are cool, the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer, you're very cool. Bang, 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 bang!
Really? You think I'm cool?
Oh, yes! You got style. You got personal style. You know what you like.
It services consumerism kingdom with an air of satisfaction.
You like premium menswear. Look around and browse. Everything looks cool on a guy like you. Take your time.
Don't be distracted by the flattery and funny man act. Questions.
Oh, persuade him to give you some money. Sure.
No need to dress this one up. Just tell him what you want.
I want your money now.
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
I don't know. I was just the only thing I could come up with in my head. To ask you, I need to get some money somehow.
Ah, yes. Money is very important.
The search vendor notes dead serious.
Are you trying to ask for a bribe? If so, you're not doing a very good job.
Sorry, detective.
What kind of stuff are you selling here?
Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom.
Where do you get those comfy pants?
I'm an entrepreneur, officer. I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, wholesalers, all extremely cool and above board.
Do you have permits to sell all that?
Good joke, officer. Here we don't have permits, just economic freedom. Take a look around. It's beautiful. Beautiful freedom.
Sweet. No permits for me means less work. Means less work for me. Let's move on. Kim, is it true he doesn't need a permit to sell?
It is, yes. Anyone can set up their shop whenever they feel like it.
That's right. No permits, no bureaucracy. That's why this city and its law officials are so cool.
Wait, but what are we doing here if there's no permits? Looks like Kim and the police instinct down his sleeve.
If you wanted to be cynical about it, you could say we are here to protect the interests of property holders. I am not, however.
My man, officer, you make all this possible. Without you, this climate would be extremely bad for business. You're part of the gossamer state.
Gossamer is a fine, filmy substance consisting of cobwebs spun by small spiders, seen especially in autumn. It's safe to say he's referring to the near absence of regulations.
The Gossamer State, you're right, this is cool. I'm part of a hip, thin, almost non-existent state apparatus.
Yeah, that's the main thing about you. Freedom is great. It's what lets independent entrepreneurs like me sell quality goods at competitive prices.
Is there a discount for cool officers like me?
No need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale. Anything you want, 50% off.
That's all. Let me have something else.
Anything for you.
Where are you from, Sealang?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol.
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known
Seagay?
as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
You're from the Apricot Serenity.
See, guy, apricot suzerainty. It's all the same to me. It's all cool. I'm interested in sales. Go ahead, let's make one. Super high quality, friendly prices.
I'll look around, thanks. Okay, so that guy did not have my badge. And this guy doesn't have my badge, so maybe I just have to do the dirty work. And I bet when you replay this, you can get so much more crap done, huh? Because you kind of know. First of all, you wouldn't waste too much. Well, I guess actually doing the random questions isn't a waste of time, huh? Because you get like bonuses and stuff for it.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Sure thing. Sure, man.
Oh, this is not where I sell my trash, huh?
Sure. Let me have a look. Another time, perhaps. What is new here? Is it my journal? Or is it the trash in my trash bag? Contains 26 bottles. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Oh, here. That's right. Oh, wait, we got this machine. Alright, I remember now.
The tear machine steps. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Nice. Does anything here feel like it will tell me about my badge? Not ice cream maker, not measurehead. Not the footprints in the dust, probably. The shelf of crime novels has a reaction speed test. 2.6 real, yeah. I need like 20 to sleep though, I think. They have a Kim one, but I can't do that one. I wonder if I have to wait for night time or something, maybe? Maybe I put it in the crime novels. The knick-knack stand. Where is the knick-knack stand at? Oh, I can't even do this. But this don't matter. Warded door? Hello again.
I guess getting past the man ain't that simple after all. So, what?
Oh, I guess I'll have to go take her deal. You finished racist thoughts? No, I didn't. I haven't even started it. I don't want to be a racist. Doesn't this just make me a racist? Or does it just give me an understanding of racists? I'm like, oh, I understand how racists work now. Yeah, oh, okay. I think I want to spend a slot on that, though. We have limited slots, so...
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samar and Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
Brad? Jag bara in över en... Nej? Nej, men den tar inte där rummet av rummet. Nej. And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
What do you mean?
The lorries. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they are vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Like the guy that said, oh, I transport illegal goods. And I was like, really? And I was like, no.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
It's no coincidence that the lorries are stranded like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience,
Alex.
Lieutenant Kisaragi,
Yep.
but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
What proof do you have that the Union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
You think the strike is being funded with sourced ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
I am very suggestive.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, though she's clearly not the type your typical lorry man would confide in.
Okay, I made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes?
We will take this case, probe the drivers and see what it yields.
Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Well, your assistance right now is I'm gonna go save the game and then we're gonna call it for today. I want to go explore like all the stuff happening up here too, but I feel like Kim wants us to get the investigation done a little bit. Cool. Is this supposed to be where we are? It is, yeah. This is like the opposite side. We were like here. Pretty cool. Alright gamers, that was a fun session we had there. This game continues to be pretty good. I really like the writing in this. It's like we're not it doesn't feel like we're progressing a lot every time we play. Like we're kind of like in one centralized location, and it feels like we barely even spoke to anyone today, but still super enjoy just the dialogue. It's just very well written so far. Definitely understand what people mean when they say that this game has very good writing, and that's definitely carrying it for me. But yeah, I guess as I've been saying all this week, as I announced on Discord at the start of the week, I will be back at a new time that I need to get used to, which is 10:00 North time, 10 p.m. GMT plus 2. Schedule down there. 10 a.m. GMT plus 2. Schedule is not down there. It will be though. I'll probably update that today. With our possibly new stream time. I haven't vibed it out yet. It's just an idea that I've been working on in my head to have some more time to play some other stuff during the evenings. So I will be trying to stream from about 10 a.m. my time, 10:00 my time, to about 15:30. So about the same time we do now, like 5.5 hours or so. So that's going to be the plan for at least a couple of weeks. I mean, if I find out that it's not my jam, then we'll just go back to the regular schedule, I guess. So it's probably going to be fine. I guess waking up at exactly 10 is going to be the hardest part. But yeah, that should be fun. As I've said multiple times, if you're someone who can't watch in the mornings, then and I'm screwing you over, that's an unfortunate possible reality that we all have to live with. That is our Disco Elysium. But yeah, I'll be back playing more Elysium. Game's still great so far. I guess we'll head over to... We'll head over to Mr. Motis. I think I might keep streaming a little bit longer than Salembo would be like, but... oh, if you're feed a full stream on the Discord, all that good stuff. Here is the raid. Boop, and the boops. Yeah, the narrative in the world building is like, I'm not don't necessarily understand all of it in this Elysium so far, and it feels like they spent a lot of work on the world building too. But it's also not boring to hear about, which is interesting. Like it's well written enough that when they're like rambling on about like random world building details, I'm at least like listening to it. So I still don't understand. Yeah, that makes sense. I am really like one of the things I really like about the game so far is that I'm really thinking about like, man, I want to do like another playthrough or another playthrough or another playthrough. We're us building this over a decade. Yeah, I mean it seems very very well thought out, and the more stuff we uncover, the more like interesting it gets. Can't work on it anymore because they got stolen by the evil capitalists. Yeah, you know, we'll continue to ask all the questions, see how the game goes. I'm a little bit worried that like I have like 7 days to solve the mystery or something, but you know what am I supposed to do? I'm an explorer. Yeah, love you all, appreciate you all. Keep fighting foes. It's complicated. Bye bye. Fart.